Rebecca Schuld. Recently, we had a tornado watch issued for the area, and we currently now have one county under a tornado warning. That is, you can see it right there in that red shading. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the details. This is for Rock and for Walworth County. Officially, it goes until 2:45. Now, we don't have any official confirmation, but this storm is capable of some rotation here, so we're going to continue to monitor this very closely. In addition, you can see the 3 counties shaded in yellow, so that is a tornado watch. That goes for Walworth, Racine, and Kenosha County until 8 o'clock tonight. But it does appear that the main show here will likely be over the next several hours with some of these strong to severe storms. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at radar right now so you can see them blowing up over the last couple of hours. If we go ahead and get you in close here, these storms have been moving to the northeast at about 45 miles per hour. Drew Burgoyne is also here in the studio with me, so we're going to continue to keep you posted here. And Drew, what are you seeing right now?
All right, Rebecca, like you said, we've got a newly issued tornado warning, and this storm is going to be tracking toward the Elkhorn and Williams Bay area. In fact, Rebecca, let's just turn off the radar and have the our watch and warning situation on here just to be able to show everyone what's going on. Let's zoom in closer into the warning area so we can highlight the areas that are going to be impacted. Let's go in even closer here. Again, we've got the tornado warning until 2:45, but as we zoom in, Delavan, you're in that area, Walworth, also Williams Bay, the Lake Geneva area, Elkhorn. Technically, you are not in the tornado warning. However, if it is extended, it could be moving in your direction. Technically, Lake Geneva, you are right on that line. Bottom line is, if you are within that red area, the tornado warned area, you need to be seeking shelter, making sure that you are going in your basement. If you've got a basement, if not, no worries about that. Get to the lowest part of your home, your house or home. Put as many walls between you and the storm as possible. That's what we're going to be looking at as those storms come through. And if you happen to be home alone right now, maybe a kiddo, you can turn up the television, turn up, the volume, and we will definitely get you where you need to be. So we'll go back over to radar and walk you through as we take a look at these storms as they are moving rather quickly as they're coming over the border throughout northern Illinois. These storms today, right, we had the rain earlier today. The sunshine really popped throughout northern Illinois, and now we're starting to see some of our area destabilize a little bit. So Rebecca's drawn out the storm track, which is great. Delavan about 233, Elkhorn at 243, McWanago at 318, Norway at 326, with Waukesha at 340. That's basically from the core of that storm. So that's what we're looking at. Everything else around, we don't have any other warnings. We do have, some stronger storms, but bottom line is, we are watching at least the core of this storm as it moves over right across the border, very close to the Bardwell area. Here is 43, and then tracking to the east-northeast, as I mentioned, Delavan, Williams Bay, Walworth, you are definitely under the gun as that storm is going to be moving in your direction. So if you're just joining us right now, we do have a newly issued tornado warning for portions of Walworth County. Rebecca, if you want to switch on over and we can go inside that storm, particularly to the velocity right there, which is good. So let's go a little bit closer inside that storm and see what we can go down into. So there we go. We'll zoom in and notice right here we've got that rotation just off to the southwest of Walworth. So you can see it right there. And at least that part of that storm is going to be coming very close to Williams Bay. So that's where the circulation is. So Rebecca, if you want, and just widen out from there and draw a storm track as that storm moves to the east-northeast, that would be perfect. And then that'll give us, a good idea of where that storm is moving. So Williams Bay, you got a few minutes before that rotation moves in your area. Elkhorn as well into the Lyons area. Now, we're not saying that that's going to completely hold together and continue to track into Waukesha County. But, and you can see it, I mean, that's where it's wrapped up. It's pretty much right along the border there of Illinois and Wisconsin. So here's the latest storm track, 234 from Williams Bay, Elkhorn at 245, the Waterford area at 315, Norway at 325, Waukesha at 341. These times obviously will vary just due to the fact that, we're drawing out and seeing that. Now, Rebecca's working the radar and also watching things with the National Weather Service. Rebecca, have they said anything regarding this? I know it was Doppler radar indicated. Not sure if they have any spotters around.
Right now at this time, that circulation again is just right on the edge of the warm front. So that is what we're watching right now. So we're not sure how much further that will continue to push to the north once it moves away from the boundary. That is really all they're saying at this time. Nothing additional, no confirmed reports of tornadoes. But again, based on what that radar that you're looking at right there, that velocity product showing the difference in wind direction, there certainly could be some rotation here that is approaching Walworth at this time, as you can see. So notice kind of where that little notch of green meets the red. That is, again, where that circulation is likely unfolding as we speak.
All right, we're going to take a look back, and just keep it right there, Rebecca, if you would, and maybe just pause the radar. And I just want to show you. So what's happening here is the radar itself is just to the north. So the green that you're seeing, winds are coming toward the radar. Red winds are going away from the radar. And so when you see those two next to each other, the green and the red, the radar is actually looking inside that storm and showing where that circulation will be. And that's obviously the area that we're watching. It's right along the border, but if you're watching from Walworth right now, it's going to be moving very close to you at this point. So make sure that you are in your safe spot. And we've got some safety tips as well that we can put up for you quickly, just to let folks know, obviously, what to do. Get into that safe spot, lowest part of your home. A basement is great. A bathroom or a closet is wonderful. We don't want to be driving around. And if you can, just turn up the television. The other thing here is we're also streaming as well. For some hail as well, and I know Rebecca, you were looking at that. So we've got a couple of clusters here that we're watching. Clearly, this is the main storm. This is the main show with that tornado warning until 2:45. But it looks like we've got an additional storm just to the north. So let's hit pause on that, Rebecca, and let's zoom into that other part. I know it's not severe warn north of Waukesha, but I want to let people know that we are watching some other storms around as well. Rebecca, it's showing where that rotation has been, and it has now crossed over into southern portions of Wisconsin as well. So we'll take a look at that, and let's zoom as close as we can, within reason, where that is. And there it is. So you can see it. Here's 67. So we got south of Darien, but Williams Bay, I mean, this is going to be moving right over the Williams Bay area. So please, if you are watching from Williams Bay, make sure you are in your ready spot, your safe spot, as that will be coming over. At this point, I don't believe we have any spotters that are in and around that area. But bottom line is the radar is definitely sensing that rotation. So Bigfoot Prairie, right over Walworth right now, Fontana and Geneva Lake, and then so we got County Road B here and the State Line Road. So within that area, that's where that circulation is, and it will be moving further to the east-northeast. So maybe widen out from there, Rebecca. We'll do another storm track, and we're going to probably go back and forth on these storm tracks, especially when you can see, that rotation there. So if it continues to move to the north and east, Lake Geneva in about 10, 15 minutes from now, East Troy at 307, Norway at 325, Waukesha at 342, and we're definitely getting ahead of ourselves here, when it comes to West Allis. But really from now until about 5 or 6 o'clock would be the greatest chance to see a strong to severe storm across southeastern Wisconsin. So especially within the tornado watch area. The ingredients there are just a little bit better, within that storm. So, Rebecca, anything new from the Weather Service chat?
Well, they did allow the tornado warning to expire for Rock. They are still just monitoring the radar. Of course, no bird's eye reports. So this is just radar indicated rotation that we're looking at. And certainly we are dealing with all kinds of ingredients coming together. So we have the southeast wind today, but we've notice that wind will be veering to the southwest, so getting a little bit of that spin, really no surprise. We're starting to see some of these stronger storms pulse up and also starting to see some of that rotation here on our velocity products. Additionally, these are hail makers, so it is quite possible, and we've had a history of these storms so far today, dropping hail to about a quarter in diameter. And of course, with any of these storms, we could get some gusty winds as they blow through, and they're moving through pretty quick. So we've also been keeping a watch on another cell that you can see that's just moving out of northern Waukesha County into Washington County there too. So again, these could pulse up quickly. So the bottom line is you really want to keep an eye to the sky and just be weather aware and ready for any quick changes here with some of these storms that are continuing to pop up very quickly. But as of now, no indications of an actual tornado in progress, but we're certainly seeing the rotation. And of course, we've got the other parameters that will still potentially keep some of these showers and storms at severe levels here the next couple of hours. But I'm in the chat room with the National Weather Service in Milwaukee, also in the chat room with the National Weather Service in Chicago. And some of those storms here have been dropping 70-mile-per-hour winds, again, south of the area, but that's the kind of history we've had with some of these storms so far today.
Now, these storms, by the way, I mean, they are racing at 40 to 45 miles an hour. So when we do those storm tracks, they are going to move rather quickly across southeastern Wisconsin. So let's go back to the tornado warning storm. Again, 2:45 is that tornado warning for Walworth County. We will see if that continues. Obviously, the red box here, the polygon, is the area that we're watching. So let's go back into the warn part and take a look for everyone just to see what's going on. So we can zoom back in into that area, especially with the velocity product. Nothing going on from Burlington into Union Grove, Racine, or Kenosha, but all eyes are on Walworth County, and we're going to see if that storm will continue to progress. So we'll go back into that storm. Let's zoom in to the circulation. We'll turn off the loop as well, just to show everyone where it's moving. So again, it's moved out of northern Illinois, and we're still seeing it right here, and that's a pretty decent couplet. Notice the brighter red there, just to the south of Williams Bay, right up against that green. So this is right over State Highway, County Highway B. So if you're familiar with this area, we got Porter Avenue and County Road B that comes in there. So that's where that circulation is. Could possibly produce a tornado at any point. Again, this is Doppler radar indicated. I don't think there's any spotters that are around there at this point to give us, the complete, ground truth. But these storms today, especially this one, definitely looks like it's been wrapped up and just to the south of Williams Bay. So let's widen out, Rebecca, from there, and let's do a storm track on that. As it moves to the east-northeast and about 40 to 45 miles an hour. So we have to, zoom out in order to drag that storm track out to make, to make that speed what it needs to be. So basically, Lake Geneva moving over you within the next some additional thunderstorm warnings. Watching from the Lynn community here, Lake Geneva, right around Geneva Lake, you definitely need to be in your safe spot as that storm, moves toward you. This is one of those storms, especially in the environment it's in right now. It's wrapped up and will continue to go. And hopefully, we'd like to see another couple of scans here where this will weaken. But at this point, still holding on. So from Geneva to Lake Geneva, all around these areas, County Road B, we've been mentioning that a couple of times, Linton Road, so just giving you some references on where that circulation and that possible tornado could be. If it's not producing a tornado, most likely you're going to get some strong gusty winds over 60 miles an hour, so make sure that you remain in your safe spot. Once that moves through, we'll start giving, an all clear. So, Rebecca, obviously that's the only storm producing the tornado warning, but you had mentioned a couple of other stronger storms moving away from at least northern Waukesha County that could produce some hail.
This is going to be skirting by on the northwest side of Menominee Falls. Again, like Drew said, these are racing quickly to the northeast at about 45 miles per hour. So you'll get a good downpour, but it won't last too long. And again, these storms have had a history of some at least nickel-size hail here, possibly up to a quarter in diameter. So again, this will be quickly moving through Washington County. It's right over the Richfield area right now, heading up to Jackson and Kerchain. And then as we get going out of the county there, that'll be moving into places like Trenton, Decker Corner. Now we're into Ozaukee County there, Newburgh, West Bend, all at least will be seeing a glancing blow as that system, as this particular cell moves through, but not showing signs that would be reaching severe limits. But I bet there's some gusty winds coming out of this storm too. So you'll just want to at least take it inside while this rolls through. I think the good news is, as we're looking at the chat, they're starting to talk about some weakening with the circulation that was near Williams Bay. So that's good. But again, like Drew said, there's some of these other cells popping up, and they could briefly reach severe thunderstorm limits. So again, we're definitely needing to stay weather aware here through the day. And a lot of this has filled in really quickly here, really even within the last 30 minutes. So we've got some other storms that'll be moving into Jefferson County here. Fort Atkinson, you're probably going to see an uptick here in storm activity pretty quickly. Palmyra, you're going to be seeing an uptick here in a downpour, and again, some thunder, lightning, hail. All of that is possible. But like Drew mentioned, as we go back over to the velocity product, really the only main concern so far for rotation is down in Walworth County. So what you're looking at right now is those 3 counties in yellow. That's a tornado watch. Okay, so that's for our 3 southern counties, and then it extends further south into Illinois. That goes until 8 o'clock tonight. And then currently we have, it looks like another severe thunderstorm warning. So that's down in northern Illinois. And then, of course, the tornado warning that is still impacting parts of Walworth County. So that goes for another 15 minutes. And no word yet if they would plan to extend that. But again, we'll continue to be watching the circulation here on this one really close.
Yeah, so let's reset right now, Rebecca. We could probably have a lot of people that are joining us. So if you're just tuning in, you're wondering what's going on, especially throughout Walworth County, we have a tornado warning that continues until 2:45. Rebecca had mentioned it is out of the Rock County area, but we're still watching that very closely as those storms are moving throughout the southern part of our area, pretty much right along the border of Illinois and Wisconsin. Those ingredients were just enough there that we're watching. So, all right, let's zoom in and let's go back to the velocity product there. That other severe thunderstorm warning is, outside of our area throughout northern Illinois. So we'll zoom in. Let's take a look and see the latest scan on where that particular circulation is. We've been talking about Walworth, County specifically here, right around Williams Bay. So it's still showing up. It's not as bold as it was earlier. And that's some of the weakening that we're looking at, but still way too close for comfort. If you're watching from Williams Bay, Lake Geneva itself, into the Linton community, it's right over Linton right now. So if you're watching from Bloomfield, we'll probably have to watch that a little bit closer for you as well. But let's go back over to the velocity. So we have new severe thunderstorm warning. So what's probably happening here is, the Weather Service is going to, issue these severe thunderstorm warnings downstream because of that circulation. Now, if the circulation goes away, they may replace this with just a general severe thunderstorm warning, and that seems to be the transition right now. But until we see that, I want to go back to the velocity, and I do want to do a current storm track with that particular cell, just to give people downstream an idea of where that's going. So let's take a look at inside that storm. We'll draw that storm track out and let people know, obviously the area that we're watching. So yeah, just to the east of Walworth there, we'll draw it out. These storms are moving anywhere from 40 to 45 miles an hour. So they are moving rather quickly, which is good. It's not like they're sitting at 20 to 25 miles an hour and are going to be around for a while. So here we go. Moving Burlington maybe a little after 3 o'clock, Norway at 3:30. Again, I think we're definitely ahead of ourselves, anywhere from Waukesha to State Fair Park. That's obviously a concern if it continues to go. But at least at this point, there's no extension of the tornado warning itself, and it goes out for another 10 minutes. So, and what we've been watching is right here, and you can see it. Now, this was a lot greener the last couple of scans. So, as you can see, that's the latest scan, and it's pushed a little bit further to the east. So we're getting some winds right around Williams Bay, but not seeing as much here. But it continues to move a little bit further, further to the east. So with that being said, we still have to watch and respect this particular storm. So if you're watching from Lake Geneva right now, hopefully you got the TV turned up, or you got your CBS 58 Ready Weather app, because we should be streaming on there. That's a wonderful way to get those warnings, especially if you got to be in the basement, in the closet, or the bathroom. Obviously, those are the best areas, to go, with these storms. So hopefully we see this thing continue to weaken, but we do have some additional severe thunderstorm warnings that have been issued a little bit further to the east. So yeah, Rebecca, that's good. Let's zoom into the severe thunderstorm parts of those areas. So that goes until 3:15. So as we look, from Burlington into the northern half of Walworth County. These are areas. So western Racine County doesn't really come into Kenosha County, but the northern part of Walworth County under that severe thunderstorm warning. So what's the latest, Rebecca? Do you have?
Because I'm looking at we also have Telemundo here at our station, so I'm looking at that computer and I'm looking at the Lake Geneva camera. I'm wondering if production would be able to pull that up full screen, because we're really seeing the storm bearing down right on Lake Geneva, right over Geneva Lake, that is. So that's kind of a cool look, and you can definitely tell that there's some wind there with the raindrops blowing across the camera. So it was looking really neat even a minute ago. Now it's starting to look a little more muddled, but again, that storm is right there. And again, still watching, at least for the next 10 minutes yet, any type of rotation. It does appear that they will now let that tornado warning expire. So we are getting that word from the National Weather Service right now. So that's great news, but still certainly a powerful storm that will continue to not only drop a lot of the rain there, but the wind and possibly some hail. Kind of hard to see from that vantage point if there's any hail falling currently, but certainly a good storm here coming through Geneva Lake, right over Geneva Lake, as you're looking at that right there. In fact, as I'm looking back at radar, that's probably some of the most significant returns there for the downpours, at least. But like we've been mentioning, at least that rotation appears to be weakening on radar, which is great news. That's exactly what we need.
Let's flip back over to radar. Obviously that's quite a scene, right along the lake. But there is a bit of a surge that's going on here, as you could see, where this is bulging out here. We just showed you that picture. Anytime you see that on radar, typically those winds are fanning out, and hopefully this is just transitioning into some winds and not, anything tornadic. But some of the stronger winds will be coming out of here anywhere from 50 to 60 plus miles an hour. So if you're watching watching from Burlington, that storm is going to be moving toward you really within the next, 5 to 10 minutes or so as it comes through. Let's go back over to velocity, Rebecca. I do want to just look back in inside the storm itself and just see what I don't want to see is any green and red right next to each other. Hopefully this is going to be more outflow dominant, which it looks like it is. Notice some of the deeper reds here from Elkhorn into Walworth. That's basically the radar sampling some very strong winds as they come through. We still are watching, the possibility of a circulation. Now, Rebecca did say the Weather Service is expected to cancel the tornado warning at 2:45. Obviously, we're going to continue to stay on and watch things, through the tornado warning itself. But, it's something that we need to, just continue to watch here as that storm comes through. But it does look like it's starting to morph into more of a damaging wind type of threat as it moves out. The brighter these colors here, on the radar is typically more of a surge in winds, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. So if you're watching from Bloomfield, I would definitely be, away from windows, Boners Lake, into the Burlington area as that storm moves toward you, because obviously we could be expecting some of the strong, damaging winds over 60 miles an hour as that storm comes through. So, these storms are a little bit tough. This isn't like a textbook type of supercell thunderstorm where, it's very clear like we've been seeing across the Mid-South and Central Plains over the last couple of weeks. We get them fairly muddled, and that's why you got to just keep looking inside that storm. That's why we like, the velocity product itself, because it does a good job, with that. So hopefully folks are still, in their safe spot into Lake Geneva, as well as Bowers into the Lyons area. Hopefully within the next 10 minutes or so, we'll start to get some clearing out toward the west. But you can see it right here. I mean, we showed you that vantage point right over the lake, where we still have that storm is packing, a good punch and most likely producing, some winds that are, over 60 miles an hour as that storm comes through. Not just widespread, but pockets of some damaging winds coming through. So let's widen out from this a little bit, Rebecca, as I just kind of want to see a little bit wider vantage point here. So this is the crux of the storm. And again, we're not really seeing, that tight, what we call a couplet, where you got the red and green right on top of each other, and the bright colors. That usually, the tighter it is, the radar's sensing a pretty, significant area of rotation. So that's that. And we've got newly issued severe thunderstorm warnings that are going on. So Rebecca talked about that, downstream, the potential for some additional thunderstorm warnings. So this one for Ozaukee, Sheboygan, into Washington counties until 3:30. Hail producing and damaging winds. So we're seeing up to quarter-size hail and strong gusty winds, probably from 50 to 60 miles an hour. So let's zoom into those storms, if you will, Rebecca. And if you want to turn on the warnings as well, just so we're showing people where that is. So this is the cell right here that we're concerned about. We were watching it. We showed you it earlier as it's basically sitting right over West Bend. So if you're watching from Grafton into Belgium, just to the south of Sheboygan, this storm that's going to be coming toward you could be producing some 50 to 60 mile an hour winds with the potential for some quarter-size hail. So kind of a classic severe thunderstorm. Fredonia, it's over Newburgh as we speak, basically glancing at least the southern side of West Bend, moving throughout Jackson, and you can see the core of that right over Newburgh. If you want to turn on that hail tracker, Rebecca, my guess is that's going to probably line up fairly well with that storm. There's a little blob here, and that would show us that we definitely have that storm that's perked up. That could be a hail producer. So if you're watching from Decker Corner into Grafton, Port Washington, Belgium, that storm's going to be moving toward you, and it could be producing anywhere from dime to nickel, maybe up to some quarter-size hail, and definitely some strong gusty winds as it moves into your area. Rebecca, anything latest or anything for the National Weather Service that they're talking about? My guess is they're going to continue to move on from that tornado warning right around 2:45.
Yeah, we do still have some details to pass along. They have allowed the tornado warning to expire. So that's the best news. We also now have a hail report, 1 inch in diameter, so quarter-size hail. That was in Sussex. And again, the biggest concern with this new warning that you're looking at right here is hail. That's the main concern with this particular cell. We've got your hail product up there right now. So you can see that. In addition to, again, just heavy rain, some hail here, potentially up to 1/4 in diameter. Also now starting to get some word that Walworth did receive some wind damage. So reports that a large tree branch down and leaning powered pole near the intersection of, looks like Highway 67 and County Road B. So again, that just proves that there was definitely some wind within that storm. And if we just kind of go over here with a product that most people are familiar with, which is just our radar looking at the heavy rain, you can just point out where the orange and the reds are. That's the strongest parts of all of these storms. And again, we do have several counties now under severe thunderstorm warnings. But again, the best news, that tornado warning has been allowed to expire. However, the tornado watch for Walworth, Racine, and Kenosha still goes until this evening. So we're still watching this activity. Drew also mentioned, though, a lot of this is transitioning to maybe wind and hail makers here. So this is the latest right now. You still have the tornado